Hi, I'm Brian Hoffman, Vice President of Engineering at Arch Network, and today we're going to be continuing our APL Token tutorial series. Last time we went through the process of creating and initializing a mint and creating the initial supply of just one of our tokens. And this tutorial will be a continuation of that to walk through a couple of the more advanced operations that are supported through this program. Once again, we're going to be starting at the Arch book in the How to Create a Fungible Token guide. You can find that under the Program Development section under Program Examples, Fungible Token. If you scroll down to the Advanced Token Operations section, you'll see a section called Transferring Tokens. If you have not completed the first part of this tutorial, you can go to the top of the page and begin there, and then come back to the Advanced Token Operations page once you've gone ahead and walked through that and made sure that's all working properly. So, to start, we're going to do transferring tokens. Transferring tokens is a pretty common operation. It's basically just sending tokens from one account on chain to another. But there's a couple steps you got to go through in order to do that. The first one is to create an account to send tokens to. In the previous tutorial, we created a demo keys folder, which was storing all of our account keys. And this is no different. We're going to run this OpenSSL command here to create a recipient key in that folder with 32 random bytes. So OpenSSL rand out to the recipient.key file with 32 bytes. Boom. And we can go ahead and list out our demo keys to make sure that that key was created properly. And you'll see the recipient.key file joins our mint authority and payer files that are already there. So we can move on from there. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and create a token account for that key. So in this case, we're going to go to mint, and we're going to reuse the mint variable from the previous part of our tutorial. We're going to specify an owner, which is the new key that we just created is going to own the tokens that it's going to own the account that we're creating so that we can send tokens to it. And then we need a payer that can actually go ahead and create this account. So hopefully, if I type that right, I should be able to create that account. Okay, great. So now we have this new address for the recipient, and we can go ahead and set a variable to recipient token account with that address and use it in the next step. Now what we're going to do is, well, let's not send them the whole token. Let's send 0.1 token to this person. So we're going to use the token transfer command, Arch CLI token transfer, and we're going to transfer from the ATA that is holding those funds to the recipient ATA. And we're going to send it 100,000 keys, and obviously we need to specify the owner key because the owner is the one who has control over those funds and is the one who can send those. So we'll go ahead and we'll see transferring 100,000 of these tokens over from this address to this address, and you can see the actual logs from that command, and it looks like it went through successfully. So if we want to go ahead and see and make sure that that account has the tokens, we can go ahead and look at what are our other options in the Arch CLI for managing tokens. Well, we have a ton of accounts. Let's see, balance or show account. Well, let's show account, and let's see if that account has any tokens. Show account. Oh, remember it's token show account. And we're going to do recipient ATA. Okay, look at what we got. We fetched account information. We have an account address that we checked. There's the mint, the owner of the mint, and we see a balance of 100,000 tokens. So those have been transferred over. Now let's say we want to check and make sure that those were actually the tokens that we just transferred. So let's transfer another 100,000 over just to see if that worked properly. So here we go. Another 100,000. Looks like it went successfully. Let's show the account. We should have 200,000 if everything went well. Boom. Our balance is now 200,000 units. So our transfer is working. All right. So in our next section, we're going to talk a little bit about burning tokens. If you're not familiar with the concept of burning, it means essentially after we've minted an initial supply of tokens, or anytime we've minted tokens, we can also do the reverse, which is basically destroying tokens. and we can use the Arch CLI token burn functionality to do that. It's also important to note that it's the associated token account that minted the coins that will be able to destroy the supply, not the recipients that we used in the last transfer demonstration. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna run the Arch CLI token burn, and we're gonna need to specify the owner of the ATA account and also the ATA address, and then how many coins we want to burn. So actually, before we go ahead and do the burn, let's make sure we can check the supply on that again, just to confirm. So let's see, what is the command again for that? We can do show mint. And it looks like our supply is 800,000 units. So if we were to go ahead and, let's say, destroy 200,000 of that supply, that would knock this supply down to 600,000. So we're gonna go ahead and run the burn command and come back and check this supply to make sure that there's only 600,000 units available. So we're gonna do Arch CLI token burn. The owner is gonna be the mint authority. The account is gonna be the ATA associated with this, and we're gonna burn 200,000 units. Okay, so it said it worked successfully, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna run the show mint command again, just to make sure that the supply has been updated. And as you can see, we've gone from 800,000 units down to 600,000 units. And that's a quick and easy way to burn tokens. So as you can see, there's a bunch of different functionality that you can do with the APL token program. And this only scratches the surface, really. All of the functionality that we just described can actually be done with a multi-signature account, which, if you're not familiar with that, it means that multiple accounts can own a single token account. You can actually delegate funds to an account. So let's say you have 100 tokens and you want to allow somebody else with another account to spend 20% of that. You can actually create a delegation to them and give them control over 20% of your funds. You can if you create a token account with a freeze authority, that will allow somebody to actually freeze the account or thaw it, which means that nobody can do anything to it unless that account decides to thaw the account out. And there's all kinds of other things like batch operations for making efficient token transfers if you're building dApps and things like that. And you can find more information about this on our website. If you also scroll down to a section in our Arch book called the Arch CLI reference under Tools and CLI, you can actually see every single operation that's able to be done and what it expects data-wise to execute those commands in that section. And so it's broken down by account operations and program deployment operations. Arch CLI has a lot of different complex things that you can execute with it on chain, and you'll find all of the information documenting those functions on the Arch book in the Arch CLI reference section. If you have any questions, once again, you can go back to our Discord channel, our Circle community, or file a GitHub issue, and we'll get back to you.